Alright guys, welcome back to the vlog. Hope you guys enjoyed that video montage. Well, I'm hoping to have a video montage, but if I don't, welcome back to the vlog, you guys. So we're back at it again at AFR. We're finally here today to get the flex fuel kit tuned, and hopefully everything goes smooth. Dropped it off the other day, and this is the second day. So we had to do a couple runs back and forth. And yeah, we're here, so let's go and check it out. Remember what I told you guys in my previous vlog? That when you start, I guess, aiming for a higher horsepower, fueling is going to become a problem, and then that's the issue that we're running into right now. I'm kind of hoping that it's not a major issue, but fuel pumps and fuel injectors and stuff are major culprits or causes of fuel starvation. So hopefully we can solve the problem, what's causing the engine to cut, and go from there and finish up this tune.
Alrighty, so what's happening is our differential fuel pressure here is starting to drop off. And it wasn't doing that in the earlier pulls, right? So yeah. Our differential pressure, I turned it up a little bit just to make sure we had enough injector. And what's happening now is when we come into boost, our fuel pressure drops off, and then there's safety I've set up for it.
Yeah.
So it kills the motor. Now, I can show you from a little bit earlier file here. Let's try this one. So you can see that one. This is our differential fuel pressure on that one, and it never falls off, right? Mm-hmm. Always stays about 58, 59 psi. So that's a little bit earlier pull. Yeah. So it seems like when the fuel gets below a certain level, yeah, it's starting to fuel starve. Okay. And it definitely makes a difference, the fuel level, yeah, because on the road, if I had a little G-force, it would fuel starve. Yeah. But if I was in a taller gear, it didn't seem to do it. Okay. So fuel slosh seems to make a difference. So I think there's maybe something wrong with the way the pumps are put in. Okay. So yeah, I think we should probably pull them out and take a look. And I'll at least start before I do anything, yeah, by bench testing or turning them on, yeah, and seeing if we can confirm that both pumps are turning, yeah, on. You know, the thing is, in this pull, it's no different than the pull, yeah, where it starts to lose fuel pressure. Yeah. Like the settings and stuff aren't any different, right? Yeah. So if it's a issue with the pump or a pump not working, it's, yeah, just stopped working. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because in the GTR, there's a primary and a secondary pump. Yeah. And it's usually your, what did they say? It was your secondary pump, right? It's usually the one that usually goes first.
I'm not sure. Honestly, I would think it'd be the primary because it runs all the time. Yeah. The secondary gets
that's
break all
right.
the
That's
time,
when,
right?
That's when you're on.
Yeah. The primary has a low, medium, and a high speed, and then the secondary turns on when you get over, you know, whatever duty cycle you set that up. But one of these pumps should be able to supply enough fuel for the power we're making right now. Yeah. Really. So I think that's what's going on, is it's starving for some reason, or something wasn't put together quite right maybe, and fuel's just not getting into the hanger properly, or something. Yeah. And the nice thing about the Cobb access port, you can actually turn on the fuel pumps manually, but you have to go to your Pro Tuner to do that, right? Because I can jump in there and do it. But it won't take me long.
So we're gonna check that and see what's going on.
I'm curious if you just manually turn that second pump on, if it'll make this issue go away or not.
And then if it doesn't, then we have a different. It's a bigger problem, or?
Well, if it doesn't make it go away, then it is going to be a starvation issue for sure. Yeah.
noticed the torque was big difference in torque
Oh yeah.
on the torque curve there.
Yeah, huge difference, like 80 foot-pounds.
And what gears were you pulling in right now, Adam?
I think that was third and then fourth there.
Okay, that's. And then I was gonna say that's not even in first and second gear.
Yeah. This will be first.
First gear.
Yeah.
Definitely got some wheel spin on there.
I think I might just change the thresholds for
Yeah,
the pumps to come on.
So the nice thing is it didn't, I guess, duplicate what fuel cut. So that's kind of a good thing, eh, Adam?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see here, right? Nice and solid all the way through.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do, Adam? You gonna change out the or you change the
Just change some of the thresholds for that secondary pump. I'm gonna come on a bit sooner because I think when that primary pump is getting hot,
yeah,
it's not quite keeping up anymore.
yeah,
Because the first hour and a half or so on the dyno, it never did it once, and then
yeah,
right as I was finishing up the pump gas, it did it, and it did it on the road a couple of times.
yeah. Which is kind of weird, right? Because it's rated to handle a lot of that fuel,
Yeah, well,
especially for a full bolt-on right now, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, and it'll just be that it's happening right as the second pump's starting to come on.
Yeah,
So it's just not. I think that primary pump's just not quite keeping up.
yeah,
Before the secondary pump comes on.
yeah. And that's not a good thing for longevity-wise, right?
No, you definitely don't want it fuel starving, right?
Yeah. So basically, Adam kind of forced the two fuel pumps to turn on, and the primary was working pretty much overtime up to its limit, but which is kind of weird. As you can hear, like when we were talking about it in the car, those fuel pumps, the we have Works 300C, one pump itself should be able to handle a full bolt-on GTR. So he figured it out. The cause of it for running at its full max capacity was because the fuel pressure, he bumped it up by 10 psi, and then it's too much for the car. So at least that's a good thing, because I kind of knew the fuel pumps are good, and I didn't have any fueling issues, not that I know of anyways, but kind of good news. So let's continue on to the tune. So right now we're gonna pump out all the 91 octane and get some ethanol in here, so we get some proper ethanol content. So it's nice and warm. You can actually feel the warmth from the fuel.
That's one nice thing about the ethanol content sensor. It also measures temperature.
Oh, really?
Right?
I
So
didn't
then
know
you can
that.
do fuel temperature compensations in the map as well.
Yeah.
The ethanol content sensors are a digital signal
Yeah.
with frequency and duty cycle.
Yeah.
So you can have I believe the frequency is the ethanol content, and the duty cycle is what the ECU uses for the temperature. And I mean, this just does it through the CAN gateway,
Yeah.
but
Which is kind of nice, right? It doesn't take away from the other sensors and stuff,
yeah,
which is nice.
yeah, it's super nice.
Super nice, but without the price, I guess, because stuff like that you'll need like a Moltec or something to get all those sensors without hijacking your.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
Cobb's done a pretty good job. Just dumping in some fresh E85 right now, and we're looking for what? E70 is what ideal?
At least E70.
E70.
Yeah. I try to get it as close to E85 as we can,
Yeah.
and we gave it a little ethanol cleanse, pumped it through, and then another 40 liters of E85 now, and hopefully that gets us pretty close.
It should be good to go, eh?
I think so.
With the E85, do you have to have your fuel tank at a certain level to get the right mixture, or automatically?
No, so what we're doing is with the flex fuel sensor, we basically tune the car with 2 different ethanol contents, E0 and as close to E85 as we can get. And then there's tables that interpolate in between, and we can verify as well that the tune's happy in between as well, right? But it automatically adjusts the fueling and the ignition timing for the mixes, right? So you don't have to worry. You can run E30, you can run E60, and it'll stay happy, right?
So I could have half a tank of 91 octane and just dump some of that E85.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, half and half, 30-70, whatever you want.
So we finally started up after we put all the ethanol in, and for guys that have never run on ethanol, it does smell totally different. And the car, when it's idling, it's more raspy. It's hard to explain. It does sound different right away. Noticeable difference in the exhaust notes. But we should be ready to do a first pull right away here. So you're quite happy with that, Adam?
Yeah,
It's quite happy, eh?
absolutely. Considering that's pretty well just the base map
And also,
with a few tweaks, and it's working really good.
for what you told me, because I was only expecting the most was 610.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we definitely exceeded my
Yeah.
expectations for sure, right?
I'm happy. I think I was hoping for about 630 range, and then but then the boost wasn't quite holding like I was hoping it would, right?
Yeah.
I'm just setting up a new run. It's going to be a little bit longer pull,
Yeah.
a little bit closer look at things.
Okay. All right, guys, so Adam did first couple pulls just to set the baseline, and so far the results are, I guess, exceeded my goals that I had set for myself coming in. And let's see what else, how much more power he can pull out of this tune that we're gonna do here.
Usually I kind of break my logger up into different sections. So a couple different sections for fuel and airflow measurement, like mass airflow meters, short-term fuel trims, long-term fuel trims and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I verify that NAF data and stuff is pretty well where it needs to be.
Yep.
So that's my top two brackets here. And then I usually dedicate one to boost control. The boost control on the R35 is pretty straightforward, so there's not a whole lot to it. Boost control, injector duty cycles up with the fuel stuff.
Yeah.
Differential fuel pressure up with the fuel stuff. And then one that focuses more on ignition timing, so dynamic advance or actual ignition advance.
Yeah.
And then I usually do one on the bottom that's just like my temperatures. In this one I'm running intake temp, coolant temp, and or ethanol content in the same bar. And that's just all the visual representation stuff. And then on the bottom, I run like flags. If the car goes into a limp mode or something like that, I want to know why. So depending on the make and model of car, I'll run things like torque sources and ignition source or spark source or whatever. Like not so much of that stuff on the R35s again either, but I'll run like trans requested torque and all that kind of stuff. So if something starts happening funny, you know, a car doesn't want to build any more boost, or it's hitting some kind of wall, hopefully I don't have to add more logical parameters or PIDs to chase down what's going on. Hopefully I have everything there, and any of these items I can add up into the top to view graphically if I wish as well. But that's kind of the gist of it. That's a good pull. They made good power. There's no timing being pulled. We're pretty much making all the boost the turbos will make. And that's about it for the flex fuel.
So it's a clear indication that's a good motor, healthy motor, happy tuner.
Yeah, I mean we didn't do a cylinder leakage test or anything on it, but I mean it's not smoking at all. It's making really good power, and it sounds great. You know, the idle's nice and smooth. And,
that's awesome.
So there's a lot of information to absorb all in, but that's what makes a good tuner, or differentiates a good tuner from a bad tuner, I guess, eh? So I'm pretty happy. He says the engine is happy and pretty healthy, and that's why we're making over and above, or above and over the amount of power that I had set for myself for a goal. And pretty stoked and pretty happy and excited to get it back on the road here and on the way home.
Nice and cold ethanol pull, right?
Yep. That's awesome.
Without a bunch of load, like it's not making a bunch of heat or anything like that. But
look at the crazy power. Right?
Crazy.
Way more than what my expectations were.
It's a little better than I expected, to be honest.
Awesome.
When we saw that little, you know, when we were over 630, I thought that was going to be about it, to be honest. But
when you said 630, I was like, holy
surprises.
shit! Yeah, I got what I wanted. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks again, Adam. Appreciate it.
Man.
This guy is definitely the man.
You know, everyone says 600 wheel torque's kind of like pretty safe range, right?
Yeah.
I mean, really, we're at 637, but that's a weather corrected number, right?
Yeah. And what do you mean by weather corrected? Like,
so like based on our elevation, you should be able to take a vehicle, put it on a dyno at our elevation and at sea level, and it should make more or less the same dyno number, right?
Okay.
So how they do that is because we're only 90 kPa, and given weather, a lot of times our weather correction is around 11, 12, 13%, depending on the day.
Yeah.
So if I show an uncorrected number, it's going to be lower, right? So uncorrected, this isn't even quite making 600 wheel.
Yeah, it's not even nowhere near.
Right? And the maximum torque's 570 torque.
Yeah.
You know, in theory, you're going to run the mile per hour for about 580 wheel range, right?
Yeah.
But because of our altitude, to try to make all dyno numbers equal, and you say, well, I have these parts, it should make this power.
Yeah.
Weather correction, you know, day-to-day differences. If it's minus 20 in here and 30 degrees outside, you know, in theory, a car should come on here and make the same power, regardless, based on the weather correction.
All right, guys. So this is last year's and this year's pull. Huge difference, eh?
Yeah.
Huge difference.
150 wheel horsepower today.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
150.
That's another Honda Civic on top of it. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the vlog so far. And if you do, hit the subscribe button or smash it. Turn on your guys' notification, and you won't miss any of the future content. What can I say, you guys? Had a fantastic time tuning the vehicle. Great guys at AFR. Adam is fantastic. Highly recommend him. Yeah. Ethanol, you guys. Ethanol is basically horsepower in a bottle. Safe horsepower too. And pretty proud of my car. Healthy engine, produced massive power, more than my expectations. And I highly recommend it again. I can't say it enough. I guess in Alberta it is kind of a pain in the ass for us because we just relatively can't get ethanol at the pump unless you live in Calgary. But again, brings up the topic where is it safe to buy it at the pump because there's not a lot of us that are running on ethanol. So is it good quality or do you buy from a reputable brand like VP Racing? Well, we can always discuss that in another vlog, right? But yeah, next week, you guys, we're gonna talk about tires, and I'm hoping tires is the cause of the clicking on my car or most GTRs, but we'll expand on that on the next vlog. So enjoy the rest of the weekend, you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next week's vlog. See ya! Like By the way, go check Adam out. He's worth your time, you guys. I'll put the link in the description below. But if you live in Alberta, check him out.